Got another one.
Hey, yo. What's going on, people? It's your boy, ActionFiggySkinny, here again with another episodic review, kind of, but not really. More or less history explanation on X-Men 97 and X-Men in general. Before we begin, few reviews that I got coming out, that I have out. The Brood Wolverine Lilandra is out. I got Scarlet Spider retro carded and Jack O'Lantern. That is over here. Coming soon to the channel. I also got the G.I. Joe Vamp coming up soon. That's probably should be going up today, as well as the Bishop 97. All those are going up. If you guys like those videos, feel free to go ahead and like those, share those, and tell your friends about them. Today's episode 4, Motendo / Lifedeath Part 1. Boy, oh boy, things went down. It's an episode that is one of those like calmer episodes, but also kind of gives you a lot of fun. It's kind of about time that Jubilee had her own like little, not standalone, but something to do. The last three were really like intense, heavy, building, establishing. Now we can have some fun. Jean and Cyclops are gone. They had to go to the UN. They want to, do some mutant stuff over there. So we have the rest of the team that is Rogue, Gambit, Worf, Wolverine, Magneto, Pieces nowhere to be seen, Bishops of the future, just hanging out at the crib. It's Jubilee's 18th birthday. So Jubilee's like, yo, guys, I want to go to the arcade. And Magneto, a man who has no problem wearing like long sleeve gloves like he's Ziggy Stardust, apparently has his objective to going to an arcade. Jubilee wanted to go to the arcade. He's like, nah, I'm not down. She's like, this is bogus. We're not doing the arcade thing. All right, cool. Fine. No big deal. So then Jubilee angrily goes up to her room for whatever reason. Roberto's there. I call him Sunspot because I can never remember his name. Roberto. He's there, and she's like, oh, look, you got me this gift. Thanks. It's like a Motendo. And in the Motendo, that looks like a very much a Sega Genesis. Shouts to them on doing that. The cover of the game that's in the cartridge has what looks like an ode to X-Men in it, like an old, like it looks like the cover of the old Sega Genesis X-Men and such. So it was cool. It looked nice. Yeah, she gets this cartridge or system that appears on her like night table, nightstand, and he's like, "Yeah, we should play this video game." And Berto's like, "Nah, man, video games are whack." And I'm like, I don't know what kid in the '90s, or if you're just that kind of self-conscious or self-centered, where you just like not into video games. I don't know, no kids that weren't. The guys who weren't into video games in the 90s, when I was around in school in the 90s, we just didn't mess with those dudes. The guys weren't cool. So anyway, they decided to play this game. The game straps them to the bed on some like real Freddy Krueger stuff and like infects them, and they wake up thinking they're in a dream sequence, thinking, how long we've been playing this game. I really like how it looked very much. It says Motendo, right? It literally says Motendo. It took me a while, and I was like, oh, Mojo, cool. So it says Motendo on it. Oh, to Nintendo, cool. We'll kind of pop up pictures as it goes along. But then also you had a nice little ode to the first X-Men game on Sega Genesis with Wolverine and such on the cover. Gambit, Nightcrawler looking dope, and it was cool. So they end up in this Mojo world, kind of, but they wake up in her room, and then from there they're like, zoop, and they're like, how do we get downtown? It is like crazy. Like I think they get ripped from the room. Yeah, that's it. They get ripped from the room. A sentinel pulls them out. Jubilee uses her powers to knock the thing down. They end up realizing that they're downtown, and then it kind of has like a Days of Future Past ode to it. But then you look behind them and you kind of see like a poster of like past mutants that have died, and he's like, oh wow, that's kind of dark. But then it's like 16-bit, so they're in the 16-bit world, and then immediately like it's kind of cool because then the Sentinels go up against them. They start surrounding Jubilee, and Jubilee's like, basically, Jubilee's like, "Oh, this is a video game, boss. All right, bet." Like she literally like, "All right, bet. Let's go. I'm ready to do this." And she runs up, and then immediately it jumps into like this very cool ode to No Tidbit. My short that I just put up is me getting the 1990 X-Men arcade game working on my SNES Mini. Right? Oh yeah, Jubilee just immediately like, nah, button that, let's run, let's go. And then it just zips into this like ode to, I got the 90s X-Men game working on my Super Nintendo, and it kind of has like the whole Magneto walking with the Sentinels, and it's like shows the demo of Cyclops, X-Men, welcome to die, X-Men, and it's very cool. So it goes right into a sequence kind of like that where Jubilee is beating up the Sentinels, punching, kicking, doing their thing, but then she does this like special move where like zooms her face, she flicks down her pink glasses, and then does this like pink big like crazy fireworks special move, which is very much to how they used to get down in that game, where your mutant powers were like a big move. Dazzler had like a move like that. Colossus had like a Nightcrawler would zip across the screen. So cool ode to that. I also got very much Scott Pilgrim vibes. Those who know, if you played that game, Scott Pilgrim, that game is the beat 'em up that is sick. Got vibes from that, which he did a special move. But the people who made Scott Pilgrim also made TMNT Shredder's Revenge. So then when they did that little and he had like this flash, that made me think of the Turtles when they do all their moves. So it was it was wild nostalgic. That part was sick. They went from different level to level. She started off beating the Sentinels, and then like Mojo started getting really annoyed. He's like, who keeps helping this girl? Like Roberto gets like tries to use his power, gets knocked out. Jubilee loses a life, gets an extra life back, or gets her life back and escapes. The final level is her fighting off against Magneto, but like malevolent, like crazy ass Magneto, like trying to dead you down Magneto. She still does an infinity and whoop him. I don't know how she managed to do that, but she still had an infinity and whoops Magneto. Mojo's like, listen, that's enough. For a second, then some like secret character that was helping Jubilee the entire time was, pulls them from the game, grabs her, pulls her out. Turns out it's like they needed to test the game in Mojo's verse, so the older Jubilee sprite that they made, the clone, is the only one that survived. Voiced by Allison Court, Big Comfy Couch. Shout out to the 10-second Tiny. If y'all know, you know. So she came back to voice that character, which was like an older depiction of Jubilee. And then I like this episode because this Jubilee had fully grown into herself and grown into her powers. So she was using these, like her fireworks all kinds of ways. Like she had these, like she was skating and stuff with them, and then she had this like blade action going on, like destructo discs, like Krillin. If you know who that is, you know. And like she was just like waving him around, and then but she pulls Jubilee back, her and Roberto, and tells him what's up. Hey, I've been here. We got to take him down. And then Mojo's like, nah, I'm done. Y'all are going down. I'm taking you out. Spiral hooking up. Let's go. So she turns around and does that. They start fighting. She pulls out her little destructor of this thing. She starts skating around, busting him up. And Jubilee's like, yo, wow, I can do that. She's just like, bro, the girl, this is only the half of it. And you're like, yes, because Jubilee can do damage. Jubilee is Omega level. Jubilee's super Omega, like Omega level mutant style, where she can literally just like, she can cause really bad explosions. Like she could go hard. So I thought that was really cool. They defeat Mojo. He appeared when he first appeared. He appeared very, very dangly, like he was like malnourished. Reasons that he feeds off ratings. TV ratings weren't it lately, and it's 97. So he's like, all the kids are playing video games. So I decided to pivot, and this is what happened. So when Jubilee started whooping ass, the crowd started going crazy. He started getting fed off that. So he speared off small, got off big, and then ended up getting mashed up. Turns out, as she always does, Spiral turned on him. So I hope this means that Spiral is going to escape Mojoverse and escape his tyranny, and then head into working into the real world with Mystique and Freedom Force, because that would be a good insertion of how she got there to be a part of that team. She's still kind of evil, but she's not all the way messed up. So I kind of like that. That'd be sick. I like how they did that. First part of this episode is not a throwaway. It was a good ode to the games and the 90s games and the things that came before that made X-Men media beyond the cartoon super cool. So I like that, what they did with that. I also dig just like how they made the old game look, and it makes me want to go play the old. I'm really going to run that game like right now. You're probably going to catch footage of me playing this game at the end of this video. So it looked really nice. I dug that. And then at the end of it, you had Lifedeath. The Lifedeath Part 1, which is essentially Storm and Ford forming kind of like a Kindle relationship over the fact that she doesn't have her powers. He's like teaching her how to kind of embrace the wind and Mother Nature without her powers, while also trying to figure out a way to get her powers back. So they're out at his home, and I'm going to say it's Texas or far out, Nevada, somewhere. They're out there. And he is like, listen, this is my background. I was in the Army. I come from this, I'm Native American. I come from this background. Chad. This is what we're about. I was supposed to do a bunch of the shaman stuff. I didn't do it. It's part of my background, so on and so forth. Storm makes a comment about an owl that she sees that's only flying east, and she finds that strange. That thing plays a part later. But I find like Life Death wasn't so as it was big. It was just that it was a story of them falling in love. And yes, I see people on the internet clamoring like, "Oh, it's too fast," and they rushed it, this or whatever. I really don't think they rushed it. I think they just kind of did what they did, which was, okay, we don't know how much time has gone past since they first met up in that bar last week, but now here they are. Now it could have been a month, 2 months, 2 weeks, whatever. But I'm gonna give it like 2 months. They've been tagging together. He makes makes her chili. He opens up to her, tells him about his past. This is my mutant power. I can, make things. I can like make inventions and make everything work. It's just as I don't always have the funding because I'm not going to just pull things and start MacGyvering things out of paper clips here. I actually need funding and money to make things work. So eventually, after kind of connecting with her, be like, "Yo, Storm, I love you. This is what's up. You pretty, Aurora, I'm down." He's just like, "But yo, I gotta let you know, like." At some point, I wasn't always well off, and I couldn't take care of myself. So, like, I had to do some things that I'm not too proud of. One of those things was kind of so much designing the like what I mean? Designing the neck braces that the mutants wear that drain their powers, which also leads to him semi-designing / designing the weapon that took away Storm's power. Storm being piping mad about this, as any female would be. I would be mad too, as you should. She's like, "Nah, me, that's not it. I'm super not down. This is really what's up with that." And in comes this. I almost forgot about this, but I also very much happy and tried to forgot, but didn't. In comes what appears to be this like demon owl looking thing that just attacks both of them, and he's like, "Listen, I'm here to wreck both of y'all. I ain't trying to play. Things ain't going down that way. What's up?" In there, and Forge is like, she just like lays a claw and bites down on Forge's shoulder and just drops him. He's like, "Nah, you're done." And then Storm's like, "What? Who are you? What's good?" And this man's like, "Listen, you shall come to know me. I am the adversary." And then you're like, "Yo, cuts, bop, boof." Okay, so the adversary, listen, the adversary, he was a big part of Fall of the Mutants. The adversary was some big spiritual demon that did all sorts of craziness and like causing all sorts of horror and such. The mutants could not take him down. He was just wild, powerful, bad things could go down. Especially with him being around. He could easily take over the world. Things were not good. So Storm leading the X-Men at the time. Uh, and I guess this might happen with Jean and Cyclops gone, or who knows. But Storm leading the X-Men at the time, and Forge being there as well, helping them, and it only being like Wolverine and Longshot and Psylocke, like a ragtag bunch of motherfuckers, right? They were like, "Listen, Forge, I could go ahead and do this spell." So he caused a bunch of destruction. Things were not good. And Forge was like, "Listen, I got a plan that can essentially get away with this guy, except for like you're gonna have to kind of give up your lives. Like I just need to cast a spell to do this shaman thing. I was supposed to listen. My whole purpose was like my ancestor and my grandfather, people trained me. I came up with these, shaman abilities, and I was supposed to really put down the thing to put this guy away, the adversary. But I shied away and I decided, hey, I'm gonna lead towards technology, but this I don't need to learn. But now I'm actually gonna go ahead, try to learn my stuff, get rid of this guy. And yeah, I'm gonna need your lives to do it. So yeah, they do it. And then Roma, like as they're doing it, they do the thing and they're like, "We're gonna get rid of this guy." And then the X-Men are about to sacrifice their lives, and everybody's like witnessing this on television, and it's like a huge thing. Madeline Pryor's there with them. This is Madeline Pryor's there with them. It's literally Havoc, Longshot, Psylocke, Rogue, Dazzler, Storm, Colossus, Wolverine, Madeline Pryor. They're all there. They give up their lives. They're like, "Listen, we're gonna put this guy away. We need to put him away." Roma shows up. She's like, "Whoa, y'all are dope. Super great. Love that you did that. Very, very heroic of you. Appreciate it." Except for with this whole adversary guy, we kind of need him because his chaos and it sucks, but his chaos in the world kind of balances shit out. Huh? Sorry about that. So yeah, we can't keep him entrapped forever. Like we can't be rid of him. We can't entrap him like for a bit so he doesn't, wreak total havoc. But I mean, we can't get rid of him just because status quo. We need the guy around to keep things balanced. All right. So what I can do is, in order, to prepay you guys for your gigantic sacrifice, what I can do is I can restore you guys to the moment that before any of this happened. You guys don't have any recollection, or you do. Everything's fine. Everybody thinks you're good. Nobody's complaining. We're all happy. Or I could send you to a completely different plane. Everybody who saw you die here today thinks that you're dead still. You remain dead to your friends and everybody else that knew you prior. But to y'all, you guys will be in a completely different plane. And due to this, you'll be undetected by like all kind of electronic radar systems and so on. Like you basically will just be walking ghosts. So the X-Men, this arc was called Fall of the Mutants, right? So I talked about this before on Geektastic Cypher. A link to the description below last week's episode where I said things were out of order because first it goes Mutant Massacre, then it went Mutant Massacre, Fall of the Mutants, Extinction Agenda, then Inferno, and then Muir Island Saga. But the way they're doing it, they're jumping around. So I don't know where they're going to end this season. But I know that after that in the comics, they went into the Outback era, which was like the best era for me. Mark Silvestri on art, Claremont stories, dope, 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 dope. Loved it. But I don't know where to go with this. I know Life Death Part 2 is coming up, so they're probably going to handle this in a Part 2. And I know that the season finale is like Extinction is Everything Part 1 or something. So if I'm wondering if that's either Extinction Agenda or if that's going to be like an Extinction Agenda slash adversary stuff put together in 3 parts. And if that's how they do it, cool. It will be kind of crazy, but cool. They're also going to need mutants to fill the ranks because people are leaving. So let's see what they do with this. Let's see what they do with this. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm excited for episode 5. I like this episode. I liked it a little bit better than episode 3. Episode 3 is rushed to me, and some of the morph changes really kind of bothered me a bit, but I'm okay with this. This was kind of cool. So yeah, if you guys like this video, go ahead and give your boy a like and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell. Be sure you get all that notifications, all that good fun stuff. Also, be sure to yeah, share with your friends and tell them all about my stuff because I like doing this. Toy Room Showroom is what I'm about. It's I like talk about X-Men. I like talk about Spider-Man. I like talk about toys. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's your boy ActionFiggySkinny, and until next time, peace.